Hello, and welcome to the Vision of Practitioner Data Bank Customer Support Resource Series. We have prepared a number of short technical assistance videos that can be used as an orientation, a refresher, or a way to troubleshoot an issue you may be facing. Whether you are a new user or a seasoned veteran of the National Practitioner Data Bank, this series will provide useful tips that will make using the data bank more efficient and productive. For additional assistance, you can always visit our website at www.mpdb.hrsa.gov or contact our customer service center by phone at 1-800-767-6732 or by email at help@npdb.hrsa.gov. The video you're about to view covers the topic of reporting adverse licensure actions. During this video, you will learn how to effectively and efficiently use smart text and other features of the databank reporting system, how to submit complete and accurate reports with particular attention to key fields, how to write a factually sufficient and effective narrative. This video is targeted to individuals who submit adverse licensure reports for state licensing and certification boards to the databank. Additionally, this video may provide useful information to individuals who provide source documentation used to complete a report. Queriers may also benefit from a deeper understanding of data requirements that go into an adverse licensure report. To submit an adverse licensure report, you first go to our homepage at www.mpdb.hrsa.gov. On the left-hand side of our page, under Healthcare Organizations, you will select Sign In. We are now on the Sign In page for healthcare organizations. In the box labeled Databank ID, otherwise known as DBID, please enter your 15-digit DBID. In the box labeled User ID, please enter your username. And in the box labeled Password, please enter your password. In this example, we will enter 4297-000-00-107-578 for Databank ID, Board Admin for User ID, and our password, and select the Sign In button. Next, you will see the registration confirmation page. Review relevant information and select Continue. Under Report Options, select the Report button. On the Report Type screen, you will select whether you wish to start a new report, continue with a draft report that was started earlier, or modify an existing report. Once you choose which action you would like to complete, select Continue. In this case, we will focus on starting a new report. On the Identify the Subject screen, you will enter the practitioner's last name, first name, middle name, and suffix, if applicable. After you have finished this step, you will select Continue. In this example, we will enter Johnson for the last name, Jeffrey for the first name, and select Continue. You will note that on the Select Action screen, you are automatically given limited options based on how your organization is registered. For example, a licensing board will not automatically be given an option to submit a malpractice report. If the correct action type does not automatically appear, you would select the Show Additional Report Types link. In this example, we will select the State Licensure button. We have now arrived at the Report Input form. You will notice that there are 3 tabs. Tab 1 is Subject Information. Tab 2 is Action Information, and Tab 3 is Certification. We begin in Tab 1, Subject Information. The subject name pre-populates from a prior screen. Note, you can also input additional names for report subjects. Please enter as many additional names as you have available, as this information will ensure entities querying on the subject receive all relevant reports. In this example, we will select Add Another Name Used and add Johnson for the last name and Jeff for the first name. Next, we will select the subject's gender. In this example, we will select male. Additionally, we will enter the birth date. In this case, 08/08/1959, and we will choose whether the subject is or is not deceased. There are instances when the subject of a report dies, between when the action is taken and the report is submitted. The reporter will indicate that the subject is deceased on the report. It is not the reporter's responsibility to revise a report at a later time when a subject of a report dies. For this example, we will select No. Next, we move on to the address section. Here we enter the subject's home address. We begin to enter 5600 Fishers Lane in the street address field. As we enter the address information, the system automatically suggests valid addresses. Please note, you should carefully review the valid addresses to ensure you select the correct one. In this example, we continue to enter the city in the street address field, which eventually brings up the correct valid address. In the work information section, we begin by entering the name of the organization. You will note a checkbox that allows you to pre-populate the work information section. Normally, this field is not applicable to licensing boards because the practitioner is not likely to have the same working address as the licensure board. We will next complete the organization information. In this example, we will enter Walk-On-In Clinic in the name field and 364 Podiatric Group Practice in the type field. We continue on to the address section and enter 12 Buckle Lane, Hypers Gap, Maryland 21044 for the street address, city, state, and zip code fields. Next, we complete the Social Security numbers field. For this example, we enter 1s as the Social Security number. For the following fields, individual taxpayer identification numbers, federal employer identification numbers, national provider identifiers, Drug Enforcement Administration numbers, and unique physician identification numbers, you should enter all applicable data. In this example, we enter the MPI as 12345-67890 and the DEA number as AA 1234567. We now move to the Occupation and State Licensure Information section. When you put your cursor in the Occupation field of Licensure field, a drop-down menu will appear. You will see your most recently used occupations displayed at the top of the list. If you are submitting a report on one of these occupations, choose the appropriate selection. If you are submitting a report on a different occupation than those recently used, you may find and select the occupation title on the list, or you may begin typing the name of the occupation in the search box. In this example, we begin typing podiatrist in the search box. As we continue typing, a narrow list of options appears. We select podiatrist. Now you move on to the state of licensure and select MD Maryland from the drop-down list. Finally, we enter in the subject's license number, MD 1234. If the subject is licensed in multiple states, select Add Occupation field of licensure to enter the details. Next, we move on to the Professional Schools Attended section. In this example, we enter the school name as New York College of Podiatric Medicine and year of graduation as 1987. Note that the system has an autofill feature that suggests school names. Not every professional school for every profession is currently included in this feature. The final section of the Subject Information tab is healthcare entities with which the subject is affiliated or associated. In this section, you would add the name and address of all healthcare entities with which the subject is affiliated or associated. In this example, the subject is affiliated with a local health plan. In the name of affiliated associated healthcare entity field, we enter Universal Be Well Health Plan. In the street address, city, state, and zip code fields, we enter 1234 5th Street, Rockville, MD Maryland, and 20857 respectively. In the field, how is the subject of this report related to the affiliated entity, we select Network Member from the drop-down list. You will note that this form provides an opportunity to update information in your subject database if you have one. Now that we have completed the Subject Information tab, we will select the Continue to Action Information button. In tab 2, you will provide all relevant information about the board's action in response to the subject's behavior. In the Adverse Action Classification Codes section, reporters must select all applicable action classification codes. The system allows up to 5. In this example, we will select Reprimand or Censure and Publicly Available Fine Monetary Penalty. When you put your cursor in the Basis for Action text box, a drop-down menu will appear. You can then scroll through the options and select the most appropriate options, or you can begin typing keywords which will narrow the options available. In this example, we select Failure to meet the initial requirements of a license. You may add up to 5 reasons for your board's actions. They may be added by selecting Add Basis for Action. In this example, we add a second reason for the board's action. We select Add Basis for Action and begin typing medication in the search box. As we type, the drop-down choices are narrowed and we select Error in prescribing, dispensing, or administering medication. Next, we move on to the Adverse Action Information section. In this section, we will provide specific information about the action taken. You will enter the entity's name and the name of agency or program that took the adverse action specified in this report field. In this example, we will enter the Maryland Board of Foot Doctors. The next two fields are date fields. In many cases, these dates will be the same. In the date of action was taken, you will enter the date your board officially took the action. In the date of action became effective field, you will enter the date the board action becomes or became effective. In this example, the effective date is the same as the date the action was taken. Both are 11/15/2014. The length of action field allows you to specify whether the action being taken is for a time period that is permanent, indefinite unspecified, or for a specific period. In this example, we will select indefinite unspecified. The following field asks, is reinstatement automatic at completion of adverse action period? This is of particular use when the length of action is for a defined time period. We will enter no for this example. In the total amount of monetary penalty, assessment, or restitution or fine field, we will enter the amount of the fine. In this example, we will enter $1,000. The last field asks, is the action on appeal? There are two key entry points to keep in mind. First, because reportable board actions need not be final, you may indicate on an initial report that the board action is on appeal. Second, if an action is appealed after initial report is submitted, you would modify an existing report to indicate the action is on appeal. In this example, the practitioner has not appealed the action, so we select no. We are now at the point where we must enter a narrative description in the description of subject's acts or omissions or other reasons for actions field. To quote from the MPDB guidebook, the narrative description should have enough detail to ensure that future queryers have a clear understanding of what the subject of the report is alleged to have done and the nature and reasons for the event upon which the report is based. A narrative description cannot exceed 4,000 characters, including spaces and punctuation. There can be no reference to URLs or external websites in the narrative, nor may proper names be used or information that can identify patients, staff members, or others, aside from information which identifies the subject of the report. You are now ready to add the narrative statement explaining the what and why of your actions. It is important that you provide enough information for the query to understand the actions you took and the reasons for these actions. In this example, we entered the following narrative. The Board of Podiatry conducted an investigation which revealed that from October 2013 through March 2014, Dr. Johnson failed to maintain accurate treatment notes. Several patients experienced treatment delays and prolonged pain and suffering as a result. Further, during the same time period, in violation of the State Practice Act, Dr. Johnson was found to be performing out-of-scope procedures on patients, which included manipulations on the knee and hip. On October 15, 2014, Dr. Johnson entered into a consent agreement, which included a reprimand and imposition of a fine in the amount of $1,000. Before you leave this tab, you will have the option of using identifiers as references that are unique to your own entity. These optional fields include entity internal report reference and customer use. In this example, we will leave these fields blank. To move to the final tab, select the Continue to Certifications button. We are now on the Certification tab. The following fields are pre-populated with information from your databank account: Authorized Submitter's name, Authorized Submitter's title, Authorized Submitter's phone, and date. It is important to verify the accuracy of this information. To submit the report, select the Submit to Databank button. If for some reason you are not ready to submit the report, you may select the Store as Draft button. The draft is saved for up to 30 days. In this example, we will select the Submit to Databank button. Finally, we arrive at the Report Submission Complete page. This page serves as a confirmation of the report you submitted. From this page, you may save a copy of the report using the Save Report to Your Computer button. This concludes the reporting process. You can return to the main options screen and begin a new report, or complete another data bank function by selecting the Return to Options button. Please remember the following takeaways from this video. Enter names and other personal information of the subject and of the report completely and accurately. Use Smart Text features to classify actions you took, action codes, and reasons you took those actions, basis of action codes. Ensure the narrative portion of the report has enough details for readers to understand the facts and circumstances surrounding an action taken against a practitioner. Thank you for viewing the video, which is part of the National Practitioner Databank's Customer Support Resource Series. For additional assistance, you can always visit our website or contact our Customer Service Center by phone or by email.